Yeah, this is wildlife biologist Eric Orfer with Wild in New Hampshire. You know, we're in a scary time. Halloween's a month away or so. But you know what? The real horror story is down in Washington, D.C. Yes, it is. And what's happening down there? Well, you know, Halloween's a month away. What's going on now? Well, you got the whole budget process. And they're talking about billions of dollars. And there I say trillions of dollars that's going to be doled out like that big bowl of candy on Halloween. And you know, we don't want the bullies and the big kids getting in there and getting a handful of candy. And then when you pick up to get your candy, your bag will be empty. We need to speak up and speak out and get at it and get some of that bowl of candy for nature, for our fish and wildlife, and more importantly, also for our public lands. All right, here I am at Bear Brook State Park. Don't like to come here. I've been coming here more than 50 years now. And it's a wonderful place. 10,000 acres. But you know, I just served on the Bear Brook Steering Committee for the 15-year plan. There was not any idea of adding an acre to Bear Brook State Park. And most other state parks and forests, very little has been added over the last decade or even two, in my knowledge. So, it gets me to thinking, you know, when the pandemic struck, what happened? Oh, there were shortages of masks, and shortages of protective gear, and shortages of toilet paper. Luckily, here in New Hampshire, there was not a shortage of places to hike, to get out and get some fresh air and social distance. And what a horror story our national parks have been this summer. Zion and Yellowstone, packed, crowded, crushing numbers of people. Is that coming to your town? We got to prepare. We had a lot of land to places and did our woods fill with hikers and outdoors and nature lovers this last year and a half. It really has. You know, yesterday I was up north and I drove by a trailhead where in years past I might see a half a dozen or maybe a dozen cars there. Midday, Thursday, not even a weekend, I counted over 50 cars. Our woods are filling with people during the pandemic. And turns out, right here, I made up the sign. Protected public lands is good medicine during a pandemic. And sure hasn't it been. But you know what? During this budget process, if we don't speak up, if we don't call our senators, Senator Shaheen and Senator Hassan and Congressman Pappas and Custer, that money over the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks is going to be doled out. It's going to be passed out through negotiations. You know how those go down in D.C. Do you want to be left out? Do we want nature to be left out? Do we want to be left out for the next time we have, ooh, look at those mushrooms. Aren't they pretty? Next time there's a pandemic, we got to be ready for it. We need way more land. We should work with state and towns and land trust and conservation commissions. We should really set our goal of doubling the protected land in New Hampshire, public protected land, over the next decade. We got to be ready. So we got to call our congressmen, our senators, and get on board. If you wait till Halloween, hey, you're going to have the trick. We need to get on board. We need way more protected public land during this pandemic and prepared for the next. Don't be sitting on your hands and doing nothing. Hey, the scariest thing is to do nothing. Don't be scared. Get at it. Yes. And you know what? If you do, your bag may have a moose. Hey, ho. There it is. An official National Wildlife Federation bag. Yes, on board with the National Wildlife Federation. So, hey, let's protect more habitat. Let's save nature. Let's save the wildlife. We need to step up right now and call our senators and congressmen. Hey, we want more moose. And hey, the raccoon. Yeah, the Wildlife Federation's raccoon. Okay, here's the bear. Yes, I know it's blue. Rarely see them, but it's what I had, a blue bear. And let's not forget our loons. Can you help save our loons and our bears and our moose and our raccoons by getting involved in towns to get them to step up the Conservation Commission? Let's get protecting more public lands. We need money. Let's get our hands in that pot of candy down in Washington, D.C. and make sure we protect more wildlife habitat in places. If you're a hiker or a hunter or a mountain biker or a horseback rider, you need to be on the wagon here and calling your representatives. And this is the time. If you don't do it now, you're going to be sorry. So let's all get on board and protect more habitat and places for us to hike and hunt and ride our mountain bikes and ride our horses in the future. We need to do this now. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. There is a big bowl of candy. We need our share for nature. Let's get at it. This is wildlife biologist Eric Orr for What's Wild in New Hampshire.